We have Dan Miller on the line. Let's go right to him right now. Dan Miller joins us every Wednesday. He does. You can watch Woodward Sports on fox2detroit.com and the Fox local app. Dan Miller, how you doing, my friend?
What do you say, guys? How's it going?
Oh, living a
Not too
dream
bad,
over
not too
here.
bad.
Living a dream over here, Dan. Lions, I guess, ate a piece of humble pie last week, for lack of a better way to say it. What did you make sitting there watching that game against Baltimore? What went wrong besides everything?
Man, besides everything, I can't find anything else, but everything covers it. It's like, Dan Campbell said, they did everything right, the Lions did everything wrong. And, it was one of those days where that thing snowballed. Baltimore got ahead. They got a comfortable lead. Once they got a comfortable lead, they were able to play carefree, really get after Goff, sell out. Hey, you want to throw something over our head? Try it. We're up 28-0. We don't care. And, defensively, Lions had a impossible time stopping Lamar Jackson. That was a masterclass in what Lamar Jackson can do to a defense if you don't find some way to at least corral him a little bit. If you're going to let him run around back there and not hit him and not take him down, it's going to beat you. And guys can't hold coverage that long. And there were a couple times out there where it was, 6, 7 seconds. And I might be light on a couple of them where he had time to throw. So, look, there's a part of me that says that was a real bad day at the office and a one-off, and I wouldn't overreact to it. But are there some red flags? Yeah, I think based on what we saw against Mahomes, where they had a hard time finding him, based on what we saw against Geno Smith, where they had a hard time finding him, and based on that game, 2 of the 3 games which they lost, there are some pass rush issues where you're looking for somebody else that's going to start winning besides Hutch, because right now he's got a couple guys in front of him at least on a lot of plays.
Yeah, D-Mill, I agree with you 100%. I was telling these guys on Monday, I remember playing with the Jets. We got beat 49-3 during the regular season to the Patriots. And look, it was one-off. Rex buried the ball. We came back and we had a chance to beat them in the playoffs. So it is a one-off. Sometimes you just know. They score opening drive at home. They get the 3 and out. As guys, we're like, all right, shoot, let's just stay healthy. Let's figure this thing out. Let's try to stay healthy and win the second quarter. But with that being said, you said there are some red flags. One of the ones I want to ask about is the run game. When David Montgomery is there, when the offensive line is there, we know how strong this team is. They run. That's the strength. When David Montgomery isn't there, then it gets really interesting. Is that something that really bothers you?
I want another see it again.
Okay.
I think it's a fair question, Braylon. I think this game got out of hand so quickly that it almost took the running game out. I mean, they had 3 3-and-outs. Now you can say, if Montgomery was there, would they have had 3 3-and-outs? I don't know, man. I mean, I've heard people say that. I don't know if David Montgomery was going to make the difference in this game. It just felt like it was their day and it was not the Lions' day. But the hope is, number one, that he'll be back after the bye. I don't think he's playing this week. I think it's going to be Gibbs again and Reynolds again. But to your point, wasn't there in that game, and they didn't have a particularly good running game the week before against Tampa. So they found a way to pass their way out of it. Yeah. So I think I want to see what it looks like this week. I want to see if they can get something going against the Raiders with Gibbs, with Reynolds, and get back to having some balance on offense, which they haven't had now in 2 games. I just don't know what to do with the game against Baltimore because it was so out of hand that, they really didn't care what you were going to try to do. They were just going to sell out.
Here, I help you. Just throw it out. Just throw it away. Here's something. We'll get our players back. We'll get CJ, GJ back at some point. We'll get some players back, and that will change. We'll be at full strength eventually. But the trade deadline is looming. It's next Tuesday. A lot of people talking about what moves the Lions could make. Is there any moves that you see 100% that the Detroit Lions should make in a specific position?
Should or shouldn't make?
Should make. Sorry.
Look, if I'm Brad Holmes, I am. Now look, man, everybody in this league wants a pass rusher, so you're not alone in looking for that. But I think right now, to me, that's one of the most significant things missing is somebody else, as I said a couple minutes ago, that can win. Now look, Josh Pascal just got back. Can he be a guy that can find some wins out there? I don't know. You saw Charles Harris healthy scratch, Levi Onwuzurike healthy scratch. 2 guys that haven't been producing on a regular basis. But I just think they need to find somebody to help Hutch getting after the quarterback, and I think that's something I'd be looking at. Now, I don't think Danielle Hunter is available anymore because Minnesota's back in this thing. Carolina said Brian Burns is not available. So there are other guys that I'm sure Brad Holmes is talking to teams about, and I would be having those conversations if I were him. If I can find somebody that's going to bring me some depth in my secondary or somebody that can play in my secondary, I'm going to do it. Other than that, those are probably the two things. I've heard people say running back. I think Demo's coming back, so I'm not going to panic and give up a significant asset to get something where it might just be for a game. Would I look at a wide receiver based on Marvin now being gone and Jamo continuing to struggle? Yeah, I would look at a wide receiver if one made sense. So I guess it's a way of saying, Braylon, that my phone's on and I'm open for business. This is a good team. And this is a team that is very much, right now, as we sit here, a couple games up in the NFC North, looking at a division, looking at competing to have a playoff game at home. No guarantees. I told you guys I didn't think the Vikings were dead. They're not dead. They're just not turning the ball over anymore, and that's going to make them tough. But I just think you have a chance to do something this year. You have a chance to do something special this year. I'm not scared to give up some assets if it's somebody that can come in and help me make this possibly more of a special year.
Yeah, D-Mills, I just want to make all the wonderful fans of Fox 2 as well as Woodward Sports Network know out there, like, I'm not saying the Lions need to go out and grab a bunch of people. They're so far behind. I'm just also looking at it like this, D-Mills, is you see the teams that get to the Super Bowl, they're always looking. I mean, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They went out and got Ndamukong Suh last year. They went out and got Robert Quinn, and they just went out and got Kevin Byard. So that's more so from that angle because the goal is
Rams got Odell Beckham Jr. the year before,
and Von Miller. So the goal is still the goal.
Braylon, I agree with where you're coming from, and neither one of us are saying this team's coming from hunger. But what you're trying to do is say, look, we're good. We can be better.
Yeah.
It's like a baseball team making a trade, in late August or late July because they know they're in the race and you have a chance to do something special with that season. I think you've also put yourself in a position, if you're the Lions, where you have enough young players that are coming and in the pipeline and on your depth chart that maybe you're a little more willing to give up draft capital than you might have been in the past. And let's not forget where he came from in Los Angeles, where they give up draft capital daily just to get players, and they're comfortable with that. But there's always a couple sides to it. There's what you have to give up. There's what you're getting in return. And then some of the guys that we've talked about, their contracts are going to be up at the end of the year. That's the reason some of these guys are available. And you got to make a decision. Is that somebody that, A, we want to re-sign, B, that we can afford to re-sign? There's a lot of factors involved. But I'm with you. I believe if something makes sense, I'm not shying away from it because, as I said, this is a good team, but it doesn't mean it isn't a team that can be improved. And it might be you're looking to improve it for November, December, and January when it really, really is going to be, against the better teams in the league in the playoffs.
Love it.
Hey, Dan, you had an opportunity to talk to Jameson Williams last week. You sat down one-on-one with him, and I think – for right, wrong, or indifferent, this guy is a total lightning rod with Lions fans. And I think because Marvin was out last week, a lot of people thought he would step in, and get some more snaps. 6 targets, 0 catches. What should Lions fans feel about Jameson Williams right now? For lack of a better way to ask the question.
Look, man, when you are a number 1 draft pick, 12th overall, you are going to be somebody who has expectations on them that you're going to come in and play and you're going to produce. And that hasn't happened. And look, I did sit down with him. I found him, as I have found him other times I've talked to him, to be, affable, enjoyable, heads in the right place, wants to do the right things. And it's not translating to the field right now. And I think I get where fans are coming from. Look, whether it's Jeff Okudah or Killian Hayes or whoever else in any city, when you're drafted in that position, people expect you to come in and be a difference maker. And he's got the physical skills. I mean, there's just something that's not connecting there. He's running by people, okay? He's downfield, whether it's the ball that's Jared throwing or, looking over both shoulders. I mean, I'll defer to Braylon there because he played the position, but this is 2 weeks in a row that we got him looking over both shoulders. I don't know how many times I've seen a Lions receiver do that in my 18, 19 years of doing the play-by-play. It's just there's something that's not clicking there, but there's a couple things. Look, the physical gifts are obvious. He is lightning fast and running by people. The hand issues are also obvious. We saw it in training camp. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year. It's Ryan, what are the expectations? The expectations are that he's going to come in and play and produce. What is necessary is that he cleans things up on the field as far as whatever his precise routes are. If he's running them great, then he and Jared have to get on the same page and then catch the football when it comes your way. So, man, there's a whole lot of things that go into it, but the bottom line is this: gifted player that was drafted high, has expectations. That is unavoidable. You sign up for that when you've got the gig he's got.
Dan Miller, we'll be looking forward to the call on Monday night. It is great, man. 7 of the last 8 times the Lions have played on Monday Night Football, they have been on the road. So it's nice to be at home for a change. Dan, absolutely. And again, important to head into the break, too. Playing good and with a W. Dan, thanks so much, my friend. We'll catch you later today. Fox 2 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. And again, fox2detroit.com and the Fox Local app where you can watch us every single day. Thanks, Dan.